Oh, hey, how you doing? Buh, 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 buh. Buh, 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 buh. Hey, good morning, good evening, good afternoon, wherever you are. Welcome to Dreamy Dreamland with your sensei, Owl Bob. And I'm here at the Elevator Music office. That's where I'm at. And today's show is What's Next? Um, let's see. Play Things to Come, movie from the 20s. We live in interesting, exciting, and anxious times. You know what they say about interesting times? Don't be too sure, brother. Not much going to stop progress nowadays. War. There is war, and the rumor of war. The unknown aircraft passed over Sea Beach and dropped bombs. We'll fight them. Since Gordon got away, I've had some of those air chaps up to see me. They've got guts. They can do something still. We'll fight them. We'll fight them. We still got hostages.
I've been to the Mediterranean, and Greece, and Egypt, and India. Oh, I can read a lot of those old books. I'm not like most of the younger people here. I learned quite a lot before education stopped and schools closed down. I want to see the world.
I admire where you could fly to all that in a couple of hours.
If you were free, if I was free.
Will this be humanity tomorrow? And the years after? What then? I don't believe my boy could have got this. Two of them must have come together. They'll come back together. This time there's no attempt to land on them. When is this great experiment made? How much longer have we got before they go? When the space gun is ready. Sometime this year, you mean? Soon.
Now they're rioting. It's barbarism come back again.
If they smash up the infernal gun, then honor is satisfied and you needn't go. They won't smash the gun.
Things to Come by H.G. Wells. H.G. Wells' most famous book. That was a movie, and that was a book he wrote. Before that, he wrote a book called, I think, The Dictionary of History, or something of that matter. And it was the most read book up until the 1960s. More than the Bible. And that book made him rich. He wrote it before World War I or just after World War I. And H.G. is quite interesting in that if you look at his storyline, he grew up as a young man in poverty. His mother was a maid. They put all their savings into having a drapery business that failed miserably. And, you know, he was a Rosemont boy. So mom had to go back to being made for the really rich, barely eating. And they didn't have daycare, like they don't have daycare today. And basically, he went to work with his mom, and he spent all his time in the library. And he read and he read and he read. So by the time he was about 6, he had read all the books in the rich guy's library. I had a photograph of mine. I just looked at it 6. That's like, college education. That was really smart, obviously. And then his mother tried to indenture slavery him into working for a drapery manufacturer. I don't know what she had about drapes, but anyway, he tried to commit suicide. I'm just going to kill myself. I'm not going to put up with this. Well, the rich guy sent him off to school. And even though school was just for the rich, it was still quite competitive. Right? And maybe I know. So, are you guys the barbarians at the gate? I love it when I talk and nobody listens. Right now, no one's listening. Good morning, good evening, good afternoon, and welcome to Dreamy Dreamland with Sensei Albao. Right? And don't believe a word I say. Here we are, just like in this show, interesting times. Living in interesting times. But they're really no different than any other time. So be it. Things to come. Well, if history is evident of anything, things to come is like every 900 years or so, human race is thrown back into the Stone Age. Because we have been here a billion years, not 16,000, not 60,000, but a billion years. Mm. 1936 is when they Still, no one's watching, right? And so let's just tell you what's coming, right? So we had let's wind it back with the good old Lyndon Baines Johnson, right? One of the most corrupt politicians to ever live, and Jack Kennedy just happened to be assassinated in Lyndon Baines' town and state, the most powerful senator to ever come out of Texas. And basically, the first thing that Lyndon did was, push back on Kennedy's. Kennedy was printing greenbacks. He was going to get rid of the Federal Reserve. He was going to get rid of the CIA. He was going to get rid of the military-industrial complex. And what did Lyndon do? He stopped printing greenbacks. He doubled down on the Federal Reserve, doubled down on the CIA, doubled down on the military-industrial complex by going off to Vietnam War, right? And it was pretty much understood that the French were probably some of the best fighters of resistance, fighting against resistance, because they were the resistance against the Nazis. And then when they went back to being imperial power, they crushed all of the people who wanted to be George Washington. The United States keeps talking about democracy, and there is no democracy. We're not a democracy. Come on. We're not even a republic. We're a corporate state. And if you read Benito Mussolini's PhD thesis, that's where the word fascism, fascism was around before, but fascism, the symbol is a hidden weapon surrounded by a chaff of wheat, basically bread and circus, the Roman Empire, right? And so when the Nazis came on, that was the Third Reich. First was the First Reich, which was the Roman Empire. Second Reich was the Holy Roman Empire. And the Third Reich was a continuation of both of those as national socialism, right? And that, when you hear the word socialism, no, it wasn't communism. It wasn't even socialism, because it was fascism, meaning the concept of socialism is to share the wealth amongst everyone, right? But no, the concept of fascism is to keep all the wealth in the smallest, group of hands as possible, right? And so, capitalism is supposed to be the control of capital by corporations that are competing. That's Adam Smith. That's what keeps everybody honest. Everyone's competing, but not today. Back in 1986, savings and loan under, Bill Clinton probably was the worst president ever to be around, right? And he decontrolled everything. Good old Ronnie was talking about decontrolling, but Bill Clinton did it. So he got rid of Glass-Steagall. Bingo. That they could take your savings account and invest it in the stock market. And that's the big gigantic explosion of the digital world in the 90s, right? .com world. Well, that was great until the bubble happened, and bingo, the thousands of startups that were like competing, bang, became seven. Microsoft and Apple, HP, Sun, a few others, and that's not capitalism, right? And then all of our tax money went into those corporations, right? Very similar to what happened in '08. And why did '08 happen? Because, hey, Bill Clinton sold all our public utilities were sold to Mr. Rothschild. He owns all of them, right? That's why they're collapsing under, AIDS. He hadn't put a nickel into them. He's just raising the rates. And because the next technology to come will be the fastest technology of Tesla's wireless transmission of electricity. Batteries, forget that. Charging your car, no. With the infrastructure of our aging, crippled, disgustingly pathetic utilities, no. But when you can just put up a few towers around, and bingo, and we already have them. They're called cell towers. They have the same technology, but they just put a few little gizmos onto them and amp up the juice, and your cars and airplanes and industry will be able to run carbon free, right? But the thing is, everything will be owned by the fascist state. So just like in China, you hit that little app for the Uber to show up, and fine, if you're a citizen in good standing, yes, bingo, that thing shows up because everything will be given to you. You won't own a house. You won't own your clothes. You won't have a car. You won't own anything. You just hit that up on your phone, and by that you have to give up all of your God-given free will to decide what you want with your life. And now no one wants to hear this. There's no one there. Good morning, good evening, good afternoon, and welcome to Dreamy Dreamland. So come on, kids. Come visit, right? See what's checking out with you guys. What are you up to? Where are you at? Where's you at? Where's you at? Where's you at? Where's you at? Boom. Boom. Anyway, so that's what's happening. And so we had, went from LBJ to Dick Nixon. And Dick, I never understood why anyone who was named Richard would want to be named, nicknamed Dick. Hey, Dick. Big Dick. Swinging Dick. Groovy Dick. Maybe, maybe because their dick is so small that they want to talk, I got a big dick. I'm a big dick. You look at Richard or Dick Cheney. He looks like a dick. With that bald head, he looks like a dick with here. Let me draw you a picture of Dick Cheney. It's like on a napkin. It's there he is, VP. Very strong likeness. Anyway, here, how about Dick Armey? Here's another picture. Here's Dick Armey. And then Dick Nixon. The same, but with a river of sweat, right? Because he was turning into a golem. Dick Cheney is a golem. He was embalmed in vodka. You should go see the movie Vice. It's the story of Dick Cheney. It is quite the tale. So anyway, U.S. ICBM test ends in disaster. I think that's what it's saying. Let's see what they're saying. Ooh, look at that. Ooh, yummy, yummy. Scummy, yummy. Intercontinental ballistic missile, hypersonic. U.S. suffers. Without make stance regard the law. But let's see. 10 days ago, hypersonic weapon test failed. Okay. Test rocket carrying component of U-2 US ICBM blew up after takeoff. I wonder why. No money for Lockheed. MK-21A V-2 vehicle test ICBM failed. Frozen just 11 seconds. Okay. Failure. Step back to Sentinel ICBM. Replace Asian ICBM Minuteman III. I mean, they can only, three of them can only kill everyone. Can't have that being one thing I first test of MK12. MK Ultra, MK12 is the folks who, run the world. LGM-35 Sentinel Intercontinental Ballistic Missile failure. Okay, enough of that. I don't know if you got to see any of that one. Bottom line is every ICBM is a hypersonic missile unless they shoot it. It goes up into space, right? Up around 500 miles, right? And then when it's coming back in, it's doing about 18,000 miles an hour, or maybe somewhere between 10 and 18,000 miles an hour. And so that's hypersonic. Anything over 2,000 miles an hour is hypersonic. So every ICBM is hypersonic, right? And the Russian new Devil missile, I think it's called Satan, basically, is just, a little classier version of the U.S. Navy's sea ballistic missile, right? It has a bus that carries about 10 individually targeted delivery devices, and they carry Mark 32 hydrogen bombs. And those suckers are about almost 1 million times more powerful than the Hiroshima bomb. 1 million times. Not 100, not 1,000, not 100,000. Million in tons, right? And so I am thinking what's going to happen as this war goes on, and it's going to go incrementally worse for both sides, because both sides are the same guys, Russia and Ukraine, basically same folk, right? And what it's going to do is turn both folk into folk that don't have a heart, that folk that are some lady at the checkout counter. People are just, they're going crazy. They're being possessed by demons, pretty much, And, Russia's a pretty anti-Semitic, country. Or at least there are a lot of folk, but there are a lot of anti-Semitic folk in the United States. So much so that Israel had to buy our legislators, along with the military-industrial complex and everybody else was bought. We had the best legislators money can buy, right? So someone in Russia is when they start rolling the Satan out. Some commander will jury-rig the command codes and launch one of those suckers at Israel. And that'll be the end of Israel and the Mideast, basically, right? And that will be the linchpin to bring on a single world government, Mideast will be glowing, and it already is, it's already been destroyed, and all the oil's already been slant drilled, so it's being sucked out into undersea pumping stations. So it doesn't matter because the only thing that mattered wasn't the people, was the oil. So they're taking that away. And also the, what are known as foreign technologies. Go read Colonel, what was his name? The day after Roswell, Colonel, forget his name. But anyway, that guy, Corsi, Colonel Corsi's book, The Day After Roswell. So, and all you got to do is, Stan Lee laid it all out, X-Men, Captain America. If you watch the first three Captain America movies, that's exactly what's going on, kids. Hail Hydra, Hail Hydra. Now, at some point, it's not, the only reason humanity is still here after 1 billion years is that we're basically children of God. We're not, we do really terrible things, but it doesn't matter because it's in the ego illusion world. That's exactly what it is, illusion. The only thing that matters is love. Nothing real can exist without being co-created by love, period. That's it. Bottom line. That's the good news. You aren't sinners, That was a bad advertising motif of the, Holy Roman Empire. No, when we were just a Roman Empire, we controlled everything with people's money, food, and keeping a sword at their throat. But now we own their souls. Oh. I mean, yeah, that works out pretty good. So, again, nobody seems to care. I'm telling you stuff that's, might save your life, might save your soul, might save your, and again, your soul doesn't exist. It's just a server. Your body is not you. Come on, wake up, wake up, wake up, wake up, wake up, wake up. And the show has been running for 27 minutes. And when it's 28 minutes, 28 seconds, I will switch gears a little bit. It doesn't matter. I could be switching gears every second. It wouldn't matter because nobody watching. But I do know you guys go back and watch these things. It's like wallpaper to you. So good, And, I drop a little shamanic pebble in the pond of the World Wide Web just before I start. So I know this is going all out into the hinterlands. Okay, we're getting close to 2028, right? We will rebrand. Good morning, good evening, good afternoon, and welcome to Dreamy Dreamland with your Sensei Alba. Yep, that's me, your sensei, and I'm your griot here to tell you a story, right? So, we left off with Dick Nixon, And here's a picture of him. There he is, Dick Nixon. And if you want to end up like that, just keep doing what you're doing now, right? Faceless penis is all you're going to be. Doesn't matter what gender you are. You can be trans, LGBTQST, MOUSC. You can be anything you want, but you're still going to end up looking like it. And some people might think that's quite attractive, but hey, it's all up to the beholder. So welcome to Dreamy Dreamland with Sensei Bob. And if you want to get a hold of me, do it at the dudewake42@gmail, dudewake42@gmail. You get to have the privilege to have a private conversation with your sensei, right? You can ask me anything, I can reply, and no one else is going to be listening, except for the NSA. They listen to everything. People go, well, I want to go talk to you at a point-to-point, like, WhatsApp or any of those things. I mean, please. You really think the NSA, if they want to, the NSA listens to everything and records it. Now, some algorithm is doing it. They aren't. There's no guy with headphones on, putting on, magnetic tape. No. So, Mr. What's his name? Amazon is, he's running the cloud these days. That's why he came out of nowhere and became one of the richest guys on the planet. Same with Elon Musk. Where'd he come from? Except Nazis in South Africa. All these guys are poster boys. Bill Gates. again, the guy who runs Facebook looks just like Mark Dick Zuckerberg, right? There he is, the owner and runner of Facebook, right? And people, somebody just dumped billions of dollars into Microsoft, not Microsoft, well, Microsoft, but into Facebook for a good 10 years before they made a penny of profit, right? And the profit they make now is the actual thing. Them and Google, basically, their stock and trade is information, and they're like all upset with, Mr. WikiLeaks, No, he was being what is known as a reporter, the fourth estate, right? But no, they want to put him in the hole and bury him, because he said too many things, he showed too many truths. He spoke truth to power, right? Like pretty much no one else has. No, I'm just a comedian. I mean, not even that. I am your sensei. I'm a storyteller, right? I don't really. So, again, if you want to send something to me in PayPal, with this inflation thing, the one thing that really hurts me is affording food. But the less I eat, the better, good looking I am, and my metabolism and blood sugar and all those things are better. The other thing is transportation. I live way out in the middle of nowhere, and to come somewhere to talk to you, costs gasoline money. Now, last month I spent half of my $400 just on putting gas in the car so I could come and talk to you guys. Now, I've said a lot. Like I said, I have over 2,000 shows. I do at least 4 a week, and it's getting less and less now. But anyway, and yet YouTube keeps saying I have 1,400. It said I've had 1,400 for the last year and a half. And I probably done another 1,000. And it says I only have 478 subscribers. It never goes up. No matter how. I mean, a lot of people say, "Oh, I subscribe. So, and again, hit that like button, subscribe, hit the bell, make a comment, do all the above, right? And I make comments on everyone's channel just because I use it as a commercial. Say, "Hey, this is Sensei Al Bob from Dreamy Dreamland. Come and watch my channel." Then I make a comment, and I make another comment, then I make another comment, and then I make another comment, and then those comments get erased. It's like, I mean, all the other comments are, "Oh man, what you say is truth, man." And I make real, substantial, scholarly opinions on whatever chucklehead is saying, and and that's the free world that you live in. Now, I have to say, they let me do this, and so I appreciate that. And I know they let me do this because they need me to do this, because I am the loyal opposition. I am better than Ingalls and all the rest of the usual suspects put together. Stop of it. I'm here to tell you the trade what's the 411, because they need a certain element of the population to have the 411. Because I'm talking about not overthrowing the government or doing any of that QAnon bullshit or any, because that's total ridiculousness. No, I'm talking about you being responsible, you being your best. And if everyone did their best, hey, we wouldn't have to worry, right? That's what I'm saying. Well. So anyway, here I am. And what else can I say? There's two of you there. Any comments? Yes. Tool, how you doing, guy? Yes, I'm still here. What do you think of what I'm saying today? Things to come. Did you ever see that movie by H.G. Wells first wrote the book, and then let's see. Let's ask. Books by H.G. Wells.
H.G. Wells is the author of more than 60 books. Here are the first three: The War of the Worlds, The Time Machine, and The Invisible Man.
No, I want the whatever book. H.G. Wells. Tuna. H.G. Wells. The Invisible Man. Time Machine. The War of the Worlds. Time Machine. Selected Stories. Young H.G. Wells. Best of Wells. Nonfiction. Yeah, nonfiction. Oh yeah, here's a good one. H.G. Wells nonfiction, trio, volume 1, Anticeptions, The Open Conspiracy, The New World Order. He wrote this. When did he write this? No, it just says, no. When did, come on, tell me about the book. And this is Amazon. It's not really giving me any information. Add to cart, no. Secure, no. Turn, no. No, no, no. No, I don't want to buy it. I want to know about it. Oh, his trilogy of Homer. That'd be something pretty good to read. So, H.G. wrote a lot of stuff. Let's see. Let's go back. He wrote more non-science fiction books. He was a science author. And his most popular, the one that sold the most, was the one. The Island of Dr. Moreau, and that's one of my favorites. And that's his version of Shakespeare. What's it called? Gilgamesh is the original. That was the original. That's the original story, Gilgamesh. And Hobby Lobby stole it. They had somebody go steal it out of a museum, and they kept it in their basement. It was found out. Relating to what you said, people like you and I that do our best are shunned. Well, not really. Not really. We aren't shunned. Because the majority of the folks see what we do. Ones who are really, my whole life, I've been, pruned and molded and mentored by the elite of the elite. But every time they want me to join the club, I say, no. Oh, well, I really feel honored. I really, 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 really love you guys, but give me more time to think about it, They gave me 30 years to think about it after paying all my bills to become a scholar. And then they gently just let me off into the universe and, gave me jobs like the United Nations, other interesting places, and kind of funded my art projects, and my anti-war projects and my anti-poverty projects. They let me do all those things. And I know they're getting ready to let me, they've been keeping me, in the most beautiful place, protected. Even with this inflation, I live like a millionaire. Today I spent $80 on what last year I would have spent $30 on. So, I bought some bananas, I bought some sausage, I bought some eggs, I bought, what else did I buy? Celery, I bought, what else did I buy? English muffins. Because if I'm going to eat bread, I'm going to eat the bread I like. And it's quite interesting that the English muffins, the cheapest ones that Walmart have, which are still $1.30, whereas Thomas's are $5, and they're made from sourdough, which isn't like white flour, isn't like whole wheat. It doesn't do the sugary. I mean, it still is wheat, but it doesn't affect my hypoglycemia or my diabetes. So I have both. Who knew? Because they're like on the end of the spectrum. So no, I'm not sure. I have you, Tool. Yep, living a life fulfilled with love. Right? You can't buy that stuff, right? So I do quite well, and that's what we're put on this earth to do: live a life of love fulfilled, right? And and John Boy, he's a good example. He's the poster boy of the canary in the social coal mine. His parents dumped 20 grand into his credit card or his debit card or whatever. But he's never at a loss for cash. He's at a loss for everything else. He's up in that school all by himself, and he has no idea what it is. And what's truly interesting is that his neglect, the hill is like a puppy dog. It wants that's why it affected everyone up there by turning them crazy and making them alcoholics and drug addicts. And the only person who wasn't affected by that was Inga, because she loved the hill unconditionally, and so did I. And so do a few others, and that's why they're just idiosyncratic. Right? But John Boy, his little trip to go see his kids, where he never went and saw them, and ended up in California and stayed in really nice hotels and whined about how terrible they were. What can I say? Right? After me taking care of him for the last 14 years, and back in the day when I used to get paid for doing stuff like that, I used to make like back in 1990s, I got paid $1,000 a week to take care of people like that. And all I got from him was getting thrown out at the worst time of day. Usually at night when I couldn't see anything, and in the middle of winter when it's 20 degrees below zero and snow, get out, get out, get out! With a weapon in his hand. And so I usually left. And every time by the fourth time I left, I realized that I was going to leave from a thing where I would just have. You saw me, look at how did you find me? That's the videos I did on John's about the old throne, right? Now, that was a shamanic. You look at those first 12 or 20 videos. I don't know how many I have up there, but I don't have that many because he started making a lot of money out of me, and all he would do is scream how much it was costing him. And then he'd throw me out, and then I'd go have an adventure, and then he would, I'd go someplace where my phone didn't work, and then he'd like really get upset. When he finally got, please come back, please, let's stay forever, blah, blah, blah. We actually had contracts where he was going to pay me, thousands of dollars. Now, he has a kind, generous heart, but you don't see it that way. Every so often, but not very often, because he is so controlled by his angst and his ego that it's hard. So when you don't, if you live in a mud puppet and you are connected through your soul, which is really just a server of your spiritual experience, if you're not conscious of these things, right?
Good afternoon, public customers. Did you know that reusable bags hold up the same amount of groceries as 3 plastic bags? For Remember to use your reusable bag at checkout, and let's do good together.
Remember that. I do both. I don't want those plastic bags to feel lonely. So here we are in the. What time is it? I have to make a phone call in 2 minutes. So I'm gonna wig off here. Tool, you stay solid, buddy. Keep the faith. Tool, just get a hold of me at the dudeawake42 at Gmail. We can talk mano y mano. If you're living in foreign lands, or if you're living here, you want to get I got WhatsApp and whatever other one I have. We can talk on that. But having, what's his name wants me to go to some Patreon super duper secret, platform, blah, blah, blah. Please. I'm not going to do anything I don't know how to do and live in Michigan. Is that it? Yeah, okay. I can come visit you. Is it hot in Michigan right now? Is it burning up yet? I'm right at this Goldilocks thing. All the crazy weather comes from the west, hits those mountains at Tennessee, where the Appalachian are here and the Blue Ridge are starting there, and the weather either bounces to the north and goes in upstate New York and blows that out, or to the south and blows out North Carolina. So, yes, it is. So anyway, I'm gonna shag it off here at 47:47. I'll be back in about an hour-ish, or maybe less, right? Maybe 20 minutes, right? Okay, here we go. Love you guys. Talk to you in a little bit. Go get some more people to watch.